It is the last stream we did a Linux toolbox and kind of like workshop some stuff, and I think we settled on Rust as the main language to use for the toolbox or the base or the foundation of it. And there's a couple things I kind of want to achieve in today's stream. Over here we have the to-do. Really, this is day one of programming on Rust. And what this looks like, I think there's a lot of misconceptions on how you learn stuff. Now, I learn things quite a bit differently than others. Like most people think that you learn a programming language by just going and signing up for a class on like Udemy or code something rather. It's not really like that. It's not right like that at all. So what it really is when you go to learn something, for me, is you have to have practical application of the thing you're trying to learn. Otherwise, you're just going to read it and then forget it. So while those are okay for really basic knowledge, you're not going to really learn anything by paying money for a course. It's just, I at least that's how my brain works. I've just wasted a ton of money on stuff like that, and I never learned anything. So my method of learning Rust, day one of Rust, is just go to the official website, rustlang.org, and then just work through some of this stuff. Now I've read a couple chapters this past day, and just to get kind of like a basic, okay, we'll use cargo to build the project, how to run the project, how to do a release. Good to know. I didn't know any of that. Doing a basic guessing game. This is kind of interesting. One thing I didn't know about Rust that was just kind of right out of the gate, everything's immutable, meaning you assign a variable a value and you don't put mut before it for mutable, it won't be able to reassign that value. That's weird. Didn't know that was a thing. And there's just like some other little things, like as I'm flying through here, I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. Matches and different functionality and just like the overall structure and what it looks like. So now that we have like that basic thing, you know, that the chat jippity thing we talked about and how we hacked together the toolbox from the last stream to have something. Here's the thing that I think people forget too, is learning is not linear. Meaning when we go into, what do we name that? Linutil? When we go into Linutil here, we have all these files. We have cargo lock, a readme file. What was in the readme? Yeah, this was the readme. The thing is, I think we're just going to erase all of the cargo and then all of the Rust and then all of the target. So now we're just going to have this. You might be thinking, holy crap, that was a whole day's worth of work, Titus. And I'm like, not really. Most of it was just complete garbage that we threw up just to kind of get a basis or a foundation or kind of toying around with the ideas of what we want. Now that we have like an idea of, okay, this is the base, now we can get into it. Dragon, thanks for the resub, man. It's gonna be a fun one today, guys. It's good to see Goats in the house, Nav, Dammy, Drummer. Yeah, we're gonna have our good one today, guys. It's gonna be great. Where's the Tux cosplay? I'm gonna crank my AC next time we'll do it. We can do that. Everyone loved the penguin costume I had. So maybe one of these streams, definitely during the winter time, I'm gonna be sporting that. That was so much fun. I loved it. So the reasonable language was Rust, is what we've picked. At the end of the day for this, pretty good. Now, the thing I don't know is how we're going to do the menu. There's a lot of different things to tackle, and we may not get to the menu today or how we'll do the GUI, but we could do it in terminal. We could do it via like a secondary application. Like I was looking at, I think it was Slint. What was that? I think it was like a Qt version, and then there's a GTK version, and I think even there's a Cosmic version of different front ends we could use for a GUI if we want to get fancy. I don't know about all that. We'll see. I'm not much for graphics. Y'all know me, but we can give it a whirl. All right, so learning Rust. First thing we're gonna do, we have kind of a clean slate. We have an idea. We're gonna do my bash for the first like interaction with this. Let's do cargo new, and I think we can just do new lin util, and this creates, I believe, everything we need. If we go linutil, see, not quite what I wanted actually. Yeah, let's just take all of this and go back. Yeah, close. So maybe when I do linutil, I do it in the almost before I create it. It's interesting. Maybe cargo new. Can I just do cargo new and then just put it in this direct? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, just I don't want to create like a subdirectory in my main. I'd much rather have this directly in the main root. Yeah, we ditched Zig. Zig's honestly an interesting concept with Zig, but the thing about it is I'm a noob. And Rust is relatively noob friendly. I mean noob-ish friendly. As long as you programmed a little bit, you'll get your legs under you pretty quick. And the documentation and adoption is just so much higher with Rust. Zig's just too obscure. If I knew a lot about programming, I think we could do it. But Zig was even too difficult for ChatGPT. So it's like, hey, yeah, a little bridge too far. Maybe after we learn Rust, Zig would probably be obtainable. But honestly, Zig probably we could do. But I actually kind of want a more... I want to learn a language that's going to be utilized on a lot more spots than just Zig. So that's another reason. I don't want to pick one of my first languages as something obscure, if that makes sense. I'd rather it have much more application than a more obscure language. So that's why. What do you recommend for your first programming language? I'm the bad person to ask that. C. Don't ever ask someone over 40 what programming language to choose. We're all going to choose C. There's a lot of application there. Why not Python? Yeah, probably Python would be a more sensible option. But C's just, I think, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not very good with C. But if I was like wanting to be a programmer, I would probably start there. Consider Go. Yeah, Go's pretty good too. Like I said. Well, Python just has so much application, and you can use it for pretty much anything. It's just, should you use it for what your application is really the question. You know, it's like that Jurassic Park quote. You were so obsessed whether or not you could, you never stopped to think if you should. That's pretty much every Python package ever built. You're like, there's probably a better, more cleaner way to do it. Honestly, I'd probably lump Java and TypeScript in the same boat. Well, I hate both. I don't know why. I just don't like those languages to me. I understand that's what most things are coded in, and they have so much a widespread adoption, and they're just huge. I don't know. I think it's just not a great language. It's just not for me. Yeah. And like most people it is. And if you look, I think what is the most common languages? I think actually that was in my feed. Let me look at my news feed. I saw this in here. And let's see. God, I got to get rid of Lifehacker. Oh my God. You guys remember Lifehacker? Yeah. It's garbage now. Where is that? What was it? It's programming languages of some sort. Let me see. Programming. 10 most popular programming languages in May. There we go. Frostbites. Here you go. Number 1, Python. Number 2, here, let me enhance C language. There's C. C++, top 3. Number 4, Java. I honestly thought Java would be above C++, but well, here we are. C#, game developer's favorite. Honestly, if you're developing a Windows only tool, also C#'s kind of must. So C# I use for Windows Toolbox that I'm working on revamping the backend. JavaScript, number 6. Oh, it's Java and then JavaScript's number 6. Number 7, Visual Basic. Number 8, Go. Number 9, SQL. And 10, Fortran. What was the criteria for this list? Yeah, I don't know about that. What? The TUI IOB index is an indicator of popularity in programming language that gets updated monthly. Huh. Fortran in 2024. There you go. Every listicle seems a little bit dodgy. I don't know, man. That doesn't feel right to me. That feels wrong in so many different ways. I can't put my finger on that. The programming community index. I almost want to blame my AI. Just because, like, I follow, like, I don't, like, when I look at my news, it's just all our RSS feeds. And what it does is it culls everything. So, like, most people, how they get their news is they rely on, like, some kind of algorithm or platform that it's just it causes too much radicalism, I'd say. And it figures out what you like to watch, and then it just shows you more of that. I don't like that. I know a lot of people are like, well, don't you want to see what you want to see? And I'm like, not really. I want to just absorb as much as I can, as quick as I can. And that's why I do it in RSS feed. But as I'm like been doing this, the past couple of months, I'm seeing a big trend here is there's very little as I open up my day and I'm like, hey, what are these things from major outlets that I see? Is there anything good in here? And more of it just feels like a bunch of these sites just throwing everything in the kitchen sink from every AI generated BS article out there onto here. Like, as I'm scanning, very little of this actually looks like human made content. Like maybe the Rogue Ally X prototype. Okay, that's somewhat, if I was interested in that might be clickable. Linus Torvalds on dog fooding the Linux kernel. That could be interesting. But most of this other stuff, like, we just scanned through, probably 100 articles. And I'd say more than 90 of them are just complete garbage. So anyways, yeah, that's just my thoughts. All right. Hottie, thanks for the sub, man. Yeah, I know. Well, I want to get to the point where this Linux utility can just run on any distro, and then you can get the whole setup. So eventually I want to like integrate DWM and my setup in here. We got my bash, any other project out there that would be really easy to set up on every distro. There's going to be a couple, like some immutable distros that work fundamentally different that probably won't be accessible from this. But for the most part, a good chunk of all Arch-based, Debian-based, RHEL-based systems should all be able to run the toolbox. This is the end goal of this. All right, let's go cargo, build. I think we're going to just put this, I guess, I almost want to just call it base or cargo new. I don't want to call it linutil. That'd just be repetitive. Yeah, maybe we just call it rust. All right, good enough. Doozy, thanks for the sub, man. Brand new, all right. You should make the utility in bash so it can just run like WinUtil and compatible with any distro, and you don't need to compile. Well, if I do it right, I want to say the Rust binary should be pretty cross-compatible. So we could make it to where it pulls it down and then runs it. The idea behind this, so my main issue with just doing it all in bash. This is a good point. It's really good to talk about right now. And I think it was Peter the other day when we were live streaming said this. We can mix and mash things. It doesn't all have to be one language, right? So I'm pretty fluent in bash. Maybe not fluent, but I can get around in bash, I should say. And Rust, I can leave as the foundation. So you launch it in Rust, and then when it needs to do, like, let's say a bash script or something like that, we can just grab that and run it. And then it'll just kick right back into our Rust platform. So we can use it almost like a springboard to go off in different directions. And I think that would be okay. Oh, you did? Well, link it in chat. Let's see what we got. Tech Zero. Let's see. I thought I made you a VIP. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're a VIP. Yeah. All right, let's see what we have. I'd be curious to find, sure. Yeah, here we go. So Zero already has something made. It's a post install script. It looks like it gets pushed from here. But, so you do the curl. Let's look at the push script. What's this look like? Pretty easy. So it does this, grabs this. Oh, that's just pushing. Never mind, that's nothing. X toolbox. Let's go to it. Let's see what we got. So you got 0 Linux, 0 curl. Just following the code here just to get exactly where this should be. Okay, 0 curl. This is a repository setup. Curl scripts pull down. Yeah, no, I'm looking at this right now and I'm just, where's your source? This is just the binary. So, binary URL, where's that? 0 Linux dev. Yeah, I'm trying. You got it kind of like an onion here, man. Trying to find what you're doing. Okay, here we go. The repository for the source code of 0 Linux post install CLI. There we are. So what are we doing right now? As far as dependencies, you're using clap, CLI input, colored, FSPP, and piplog, or piglog. Interesting. Okay. Then for the source itself, you have 5 different ones. Main Rust container here. Interesting. Okay. Just give me the exe. No, I mean, the whole point here is to learn the language, guys, so we can make it. Yeah, you can copy and paste somebody else's stuff and then change a couple things, but then you're just going to be lost. Here's your match command. I like the ASCII logo. That's kind of cool. So essentially, you're not using a library for the menu at all. Interesting. I know Go has some really interesting libraries from the CLI. And right now, I'm just kind of looking through. It's like, this is kind of interesting. Looking at libraries and just how he's doing his functions. Seeing if there's anything that I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. It gives me some ideas. So here's the main program loop right here. And then he's prompting the user, change this. And then we have the let mutable selected. This is what I was talking about the mutable and immutable variables in Rust. I thought that was kind of odd. That's something I haven't seen in another language, to where it's immutable by default. So once something's set with like the let command, you set the variable with it, you can't change it, and unless there's a let mut or for mutable. It's good to know. And the rest, the syntax is actually pretty easy to read. Got a basic for loop. Charm, does that look interesting? Like, let me take a look, Phoenix. Charm.sh. We make the command line looks glamorous. Yes. Oh, okay. Charm libraries. Oh, okay, bubble tea. I've seen this before. Isn't this Go, I thought? Oh, those are for Go. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Because I remember... Oh, man, I know we said we use Rust, but... Ooh, I do like these libraries. Oh, no. Oh, no. I already bought the Rust book, but now I'm looking at it and I'm having second thoughts. Can somebody give me a funny, cool-looking thing that's like Charm in Rust? Because I really like the bubble tea. All right. Bubble tea, Rust. CLI UI library, Charm Blaze. Okay. We're still on. Hopefully. TUI RS. Let's see. That's archive. Uh-oh. We got 8K. Okay, here we go. Rust library that's about cooking up terminal user interfaces. We're coming into a spot. Okay. I like the idea, yeah. Dammy sent it over. Okay. Yeah, I found it just now and I was like, okay, here we go. I think we make something like this. I bet we could do some pretty cool stuff with it. So here we go. Handling, drawing the UI. Example from this. I like it. Yeah, the example's ugly, but we can make it look pretty. It doesn't, whatever we're gonna do, it's not gonna look great. Starting off, let's just have no aspirations here. We're not great or at least I'm not a great programmer. Whatever I'm gonna make is gonna be complete dog water. Let's just get that out of the way. Don't expect the first program you make to be any good at all. It's like making a YouTube video and saying, I'm going to be the next a big YouTuber out there. No, if you've never made a video before, your first video is just going to be atrocious and no one's going to watch it. And you're going to think, this is it, I've made it. No, that doesn't happen until maybe your 100th video. Or in my case, my 1000th video, maybe? I don't know. Same principle, though. So it's not really so much about look. I just wanted a library to do the menu, as I think that would be cool. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Let's make this... so we have our cargo. Probably the first things we do is just add the libraries. Now, I saw a command here. Cargo add. I think this just adds it directly to the TOML file. So we add these and we go vim cargo. Cargo TOML. Yeah, we should see cross term and Ratat UI. Okay, cool. All right, now we got that. So this adds the crate. So now we have the libraries tied in there. We go into our source directory, and then in our source main directory, we have just a hello world. So then if we go cargo run, this will build and then spit out just a hello world in the terminal. Boom, hello world. Easy. Okay, nice. So now let's go back to our AI friend. Let's see what we can do out of this. I was working on SL status actually just now. Let's go to linutil. And what we're going to do is go into our Rust sources main. Let's close others. All right. Let's see. Git repository was found in the parent folders. Yes. No, actually, it's not right. Yeah. Anywho. All right. This is it's not really we're not going to do like the NeoVim Primogen setup. No, that's like, NeoVim's great. I love NeoVim, but I don't even know how to do any of this crap yet. So what we're doing, we're going to be using so much of Jippity and other AI crap, and we're going to be going back and forth the manuals. I don't want to be messing with the NeoVim because NeoVim's for people who actually know what they're doing. And right now, I don't even know how to build. Well, I know how to build Rust now, but you get the idea. We still have a lot of experiment doing, and I don't want to mess with customizing and doing the LSP for Rust. And then we're not ready for that. We're just not, or at least I'm not yet. Maybe in a couple years. You also say Jippity. Perry, I stole it from, God bless. Who did I steal from? I can't remember. Theo. I stole it from Theo. I used to call it GPT, but when I heard him say Jippity, I was like, I love that. I'm stealing it. So totally. Yeah, I actually use the Kickstarter. So like my Vim is actually using Kickstarter in Vim. It has some custom functions built into it. So it's not like I'm an idiot and I'm like, oh, I don't know anything. I know a little bit of something, but not much. Let's not. What was it? Do I have it in here? Do I have my NeoVim? Yeah, there it is. So here's my NeoVim, and I have a couple. Did I not? Okay. And then init, and I was using this for my init file. Yes. So there's a couple different things I did in customized with my NeoVim, specifically. Sure. All right. Cool. Autocomplete. Let's see. What did I change out of the basic Kickstart? There was actually quite a bit I changed coming from Vim to NeoVim. There were some things I needed to do around with. I think like an undo directory and some extra plugins. One of the big things was I made a couple custom functions specifically because I do a lot of Hugo and publishing. So whenever I'm making a web page, I have to have NeoVim. That's where like I excel. We got my synthwave 84, telescope action, clipboard. Here's my custom markdown. This is something I created. Specifically, what I wanted to do was make custom markdown images. So if I have like an image in my clipboard, I can just do leader P, and then I just type in the name, and then it grabs the image from my clipboard, sees the file I'm in on my website, and then goes ahead and tracks back to the images directory, drops the image in there, and then makes the entire markdown format for that image. And it's all just with just quick hotkey. So that's one thing where, you know, people are like, well, why NeoVim? For me, that was a huge quality of life improvement for Hugo specifically. But you have to know that workflow before you go to NeoVim. Just jumping to NeoVim and not knowing anything would be awful. That's what we're going to eventually get to, but I don't know enough today to make use of anything in there for Rust. So this is why we start here. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So we kind of got an idea what we want to do here. We're just going to delete this entire thing. And then we're going to say use Ratatui to make a 3-option terminal menu with options my bash. The next option is NeoVim and quit. That's actually wrong. It's grabbing the wrong one. Let's see if it actually, the TUI back in, I would want to say is incorrect, because if we look at cargo toml, yeah, so this is actually incorrect. Instead of TUI, use Ratatui. And maybe this came after what Gypity has. Yeah, I thought we specified, but maybe not. There isn't a known library. Okay, let's see if we can't feed it the library so it knows what it's talking about. That's funny. All right, here we go. Oh, really? Here is the library you need. Let's see what it says. Thank you for providing the link. Based on the information, here's how you create the 3-option terminal using Ratatui, cross-term, and Rust. Okay, great. So now we got the proper dependencies using cargo toml. We've actually already added all that. And then we have a basic implementation of a terminal menu with the options my bash, NeoVim, and quit. Perfect. You don't need AI for that. Get your workflow going. It's like one line. It's a little more than one line. Oh man, you guys gotta gotta embrace the change of AI. Hopefully it makes life easier, right? Right? Oh man, Thunder just did it as soon as I said that. It's ominous. All right. Let's see. Definitely won't work. Shenanigans. Oh man, we got a couple from YouTube. Alex, thanks for joining Tex. Hey Chris, have you tried GPT 4.0 yet? I don't know if it's already available in Cursor. I don't think 4.0 is available yet. We'll see. I don't remember std out execute being a thing. Well, let's check with old AI. Let's see if it can fix it. You know, it was able to fix it yesterday. See if that fixes. Okay, that looks like it took away the error we had. I wonder how bad this is gonna get. Okay, so we have that. I don't see it. Didn't make any templates for the functions yet. Let's see if we actually get the menu first. So let's just come into linutil Rust. All right, so we have that. Let's go cargo run. All right, it's not highlighting though. Okay, close. All right, let's see. Highlight on mouse move. All right, you need to handle mouse events in your event loop. Here's how you can modify such a setting. Okay, so now we're adding mouse movement. Let's focus on key movement yet. Maybe I misspoke here. Because technically the selected should work based on what I'm seeing in here, but I do not see it yet. I love event loops. Satan. Oh yeah. I think we already have it configured here, so we could do it in VS Code. or cursor. Let's change this actually. Just show on key movement up and down, highlighting what is selected. That's awesome. Yeah, this is the future. We're gonna do Linux now. I do need to make the in-depth Linux video. That's on my to-do list. I'm doing my bash videos coming out on Saturday, I think, and then the next video out, I'm gonna just be spending like a couple days on with a full like power user Windows, user for Windows to Linux kind of situation. It's been a while since I made one of those videos, and I have a lot more to say on the subject now. All right, what do we got here? What is changing here? So the highlight style method used sets the blah, blah, blah. Here it is set to bold. Maybe we do like a background highlight actually. Let's see what this does. Change it. Some I, that's getting changed. That's getting changed, okay. So just 2 line changes. All right. Looks good to me. Cargo run. All right, do we have selection? Doesn't look like that is working. Okay. We could also do it from the terminal inside instead of doing it all fresh, but that's okay. Yeah, the tutorial, just go read the tutorial. I've already kind of done that. This is just, we're gonna just hack away and see what you can throw up here. I think it'd be fun. I actually done some integration, Peter, of the AI silliness. Copilot actually works really well in Vim, believe it or not. All right. So this one, let's feed it some more data. Yeah, this is all about screwing up, guys. This is so you can point and laugh. This is meant to be entertainment, not educational. Let's not get the things conflated with today's stream. If you see me coding, think entertainment, not education. And seeing me read a manual, really, is that going to be entertaining? I don't think so. Seeing me mess up and make a whole bunch of craziness with ChatGPT, that can be fun. And I enjoy it. I mean, come on. That's the point here. That's the whole point. Yeah, what is the Linux toolbox? Will it help power users do in Linux? So I'm starting off with just basic projects I've made in the past, and this toolbox will basically install and configure them for you. That's the idea. So pretty basic, starting off with my bash and setting up bash prompt properly, installing fonts and other things, and then NeoVim, getting my version of NeoVim, tossing it on here, configuring it how I like it, and then just showing all those and making the home directory proper. Probably doing some more customizations, like setting up XDG directories correctly, maybe setting the locale directly up, many things like that, like little quality of life appointments. But it's not, hey, let's just dump everything at it at once. It's hey, can we get a basic menu? Okay, we got a basic menu. Now that we have the basic menu, let's see what we can do. Let's set up our Rust program to launch a bash script. Does that work? Okay, good. Then we go from there. So it's not like an overnight kind of thing. Don't be expecting the Linux toolbox to just pop up next week and be ready. It really won't. It really won't. But maybe in the future, we'll see. Yeah, I need to bring that back. I'll do like a workout stream or something, and you guys can just redeem all your points. It'll be great. I've been saying that for like a year, but eventually it'll happen. This isn't highlighting anything. Can you do a full line background highlight instead? I can do a one-arm pull-up. All right, let's see here. Implementing a full line background highlight. Selected highlight. All right, fine. Let's try to apply that. See how many line changes it wants to do. Highlight style. It's trying to do a modifier of bold, but that's not working. So it's going to add a blue background. And okay, seems rather simple. The other thing that's happening, I also noticed that the arrow keys aren't changing the selection. What is wrong? The issue with arrow keys not changing the selection in your menu likely stems from not updating the terminal after changing the selected state. In your current implementation, you update list state when the arrow keys are pressed, but you need to ensure that the terminal is redrawn to reflect these changes. Here's how you can modify the code to ensure the terminal is updated correctly. Okay. Still generating. Do you seriously think you're learning from this? Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, Phoenix. Got a photographic memory. You didn't know that? It's just learning the structure. Do you think I'm not? This is the future. I'm coming for those professional programmers' jobs with Jippity. Everyone says it's happening. Let's make it happen. I want to show it live on stream what old Jippity can do. You got officer ranks for membership. How about some enlisted badges? Asking for a Navy chief. You know, you're the first person, Luck Dragon, to say and notice that I actually stole the military's insignia, the actual rank badges. I did it for both YouTube and Twitch. Because all the badges I could find were kind of like lame. And I was like, you know what rank badges are really cool? The military's rank badges. So yeah, I'm glad you noticed. All right, let's hit apply to this. Let's see what lines are changing. It actually just removed the comment. Doesn't really matter. Force the terminal to redraw. This is the terminal draw command on a key code down. It's doing a draw, let, block, okay. Borders, highlight style, highlight symbol, okay. Render, last size. Does it on the keypad up as well. All right. And that's it. Seems pretty basic. I like it. All right. So let's come over to Seeded Rust. We're going to go cargo run. So now we have our menu over here. Still not highlighting. Okay. Still don't see a highlight. I wonder why. To ensure there's a full line highlight that is visible, you need to make sure that highlight style is set properly and the terminal is being redrawn correctly. So if we look for highlight style is right here. Make sure the BG method is used correctly set. Okay, redraw the terminal. Here's a corrected code snippet with emphasis on the highlight style. Okay. Is that really even changing anything though? So this one's actually removing the draw and then it's pushing it down here. If it does that, is that outside of our for loop? Oh, it's okay. Here's the while loop. Where's that end? Okay, the while loop ends right here, so it's drawing it after this. That might make sense. Well, let's give it a whirl. No, still nothing. It does look like it is switching because I just hit down arrow and enter. We just didn't see what it's actually highlighting. We could also be choosing an incorrect color. Let's take a peek at this instead of just hitting this up. What we're going to do is highlight style with Ratatui UI. Let's take a look at the documentation and current examples. And let's see if we can't see any syntax issues. Rounded. Ooh. I know this doesn't look the prettiest thing, but I think we can really make this look nice. I like a lot of that. All right, so here's your foreground colors. Background colors, you do have blue right there. Oops. So let's grab an example and take a peek. Highlight the raw ANSI escape codes. And this is why you read the docs. Well, we're getting there, man. You'll yell at me. You'll tell me when I go too far astray. It'll be fine. It'll be fun. All right, so we have that. Let's look at our scroll bar, table, tabs. Wait. Let's take a peek. Which one do we want to grab? I think it was down here. Was it canvas? No. Colors is what we want. Let's take a look at the colors. Ooh, maybe like a cool gradient color. Let's not get too crazy. Let's just make color show up first. So now let's look at highlight. Oh, nothing. Okay, let's try style. Oh, thank you, Just. Yeah. All right. Let's grab that. All right. Let items and then the list. So right now it's trying to draw all these items independently, like right here. That's not what we want to do. All right. Dursley, thanks for the sub, man. What cursor do you use? I believe this is Nord. What is it? What is this? Cursor. Simple Nord Light is the cursor I use. Yeah, I absolutely adore it. Use that prelude and widgets. Prelude and widgets. Instead of doing it this way, I think we can just do star, just to grab all of them. Probably doesn't matter on that, but like it looks a little cleaner. When we're setting these immutable items like this, let's set that up. And then we have the list. So we have our main function, standard, enter alternate screen, blah, blah, blah. We have menu items. That's already set. I wonder why it has like the vec right here. What's that giving me? All right, creates a vec containing arguments. Vec allows vecs to be defined in the same syntax as array expressions. There are only 2 forms for this macro. Okay. Okay, it's fine to use an array. I appreciate it. All right. So that looks to be set up properly. So we have our menu item set here. We have our list state. Select. You know what? Let's give a little more documentation here. Let's just document this program. Let's just see what it says each thing does. That might help me figure out a few things as, again, first day using Rust. Let's see if it actually tells me what's right. I'm sure that there's some things that are wrong here, but let's just figure out what things those are. Okay, so now we have a little bit more on the documentation front. Enable raw mode to allow direct terminal manipulation. Enter an alternative screen not to mess up the user terminal history. Oh, that's a cool idea. Set up the back end in terminal with cross term. Define the menu items. Initiate the state of the list, selecting the first item by default. Okay, that makes sense. Main menu loop flag, false. Should quit. And then we have draw. Okay. Then we have handling the keyboard input with just Q for quit, down for down, up for up, and enter. And then it selects whatever state it is. And then we redraw after handling the key event. Terminal draw. All right. But whenever we run this, we do not get any highlights. Okay. So just grab all of this, the stateful example. So here's the key input and stuff, but we don't even want to mess with that. Let's see, what are we grabbing? This is the state, items, list, and then, let's remove all the ChatGPT garbage. Just seeing what we have. This should be stored outside your function in your application state. Yeah. The sound is just my phone going off. So here's our main function, but this actually said to put it outside the main function, which is kind of odd to me, but yeah, no, you wouldn't. Yeah, you can't put that outside the main function. I didn't think so. Let's remove all of the ChatGPT garbage, right? So now we have this. What about this function? What's this? I don't think we need that, right? We can just do function, something like that. Give it a little indent. Oh, everyone was in Prime stream earlier. Oh, that's cool though. Yeah. What did I name today's stream anyways? Title, Rust, Lang, Day 1. Oh, title's not a valid command. Really? Oh, it says Linux Toolbox. Okay. There we go. Better. I'm curious. Yeah, I think that's really the main thing that is really good with AI. So probably the thing I would like to do here is take an example a really good example that works and then have AI document the example for me. That's probably the best way to learn here that I can think of. Oh, Rutch, thanks for the prime. So let's take examples. Let's see. Do we have an examples in here? I think we do. Where are you at? I think we can just go right there. And then what we want is some examples. We already grabbed these, but what I really want, give me a demo. Let's go to main. I don't really have that. Not exactly what I'm looking for. Just something basic, just a little, probably like 20 lines of code is what I'm looking for this. And maybe that doesn't exist, but I feel like this could be done with that in libraries. Go colors RS, cross term. This is not going to give me exactly what I want though. Maybe let's look at tests. No. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best way to approach this. Because I'm a bit lost on this specific example. I could just do numbers. That would be the easiest way to start with, since this is my first day in Rust. But I don't want to do that. I want to figure out just to have some kind of GUI to make it kind of clean. Yeah, you got to define the colors. This is the actual colors RS to define the named colors right here. So this would, for that, I wonder, could I feed it Tailwind colors for no brainer? Okay. Yeah, I want a basic menu program using Ratatui UI, and right now it's just so modular. I'm not sure what to grab to make, like, just I want to just copy an example is all I really want to do right now. So to do that, let's see, let's try old Google. We haven't actually hit that. Let's try Ratatui UI color menu example Rust. All right, list. What do we got here? A list example. Now, what is it grabbing? Just seeing if it's pulling in any other files in. If not, we'll grab it and then we'll dissect it. Let's see. I'm curious. Let's just toss this example at it. There's no crate for this, so we might be missing a crate. Git clone and just run it. Yeah, I guess I could. But I want to see. So let's go here. And I think what we can do actually is just do like a cargo add and then color I. And then if we look at cargo, it should add the proper. Okay, perfect. Then if we look back here, that's fine. Don't have any programs. And then if we go to run it in their terminal, let's just go cargo run. Okay. So we have the to-do list. Nice. So, okay, perfect. So now we have a functional list example, document this code. Now we'll actually find something that AI should actually be pretty good with. Not actually writing code, as we learned, that's kind of a shit show. But if we grab examples and then tell it to document it for us, we should be able to learn something, in theory. We'll find out soon enough. All right, standard library errors. So we've already learned that. So we've figured out how to add cargo specific ones. The Ratatui UI, we figured out that with cross term, and then this one uses color right here. This helps build reports. So specifically, probably background colors and other things. Used for error handling with better error messages, what this actual third-party library does. Okay. Cross term provides terminal handling capabilities. And then this is what we're using for the terminal user interface. Color constraints defined using the Tailwind palette for different UI elements. Someone mentioned that earlier. So this is, where's it pulling the color Tailwind? How's it pulling in Tailwind exactly? Is it defined up here? I guess it just knows Tailwind's part of Rust or just built into it. I always wondered. I keep seeing the stuff on my feed. I'm like, oh, Tailwind. There's a bunch of crap about it. But I was like, never actually defined what Tailwind CSS is. So I guess it's just there by defaults in Rust. You just got to define it with a constant. It's cool. So that's how it's defined. And then we have our data structs, to do item, and then stateful full list. When it's running this, let's take a look at the program itself. That's cool. Okay, so the to-do info is just a list of that. I kind of dig it. Pet your cat. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. Tailwind palette's part of Ratatui. That's why I was able to pull it in so quickly. I was about to say, I thought it would be defined as like another cargo, but it's not. So that's cool. And right now I'm just kind of walking through the start of this just so I have a kind of a base understanding of what each thing is doing. And then we can kind of reformat this as we see fit. All right, this track holds the current state of the app. In particular, it holds items, fields, and check event handling at the bottom to check to see the state of incoming events. Check the drawing logic for items and how to specify highlight style for selected items. Okay. That is so interesting. So it's using this to set up and initialize the terminal, create an app and run it. Okay. So this is the whole main function. And then for initiating the terminal, it's doing enable raw mode. It's then doing an execute it on an alternate screen. Now, when it does this, I think it actually doesn't add things to the history command in your terminal. So that's why you do that. Maybe another reason as well. Let backend cross-term backend. Okay, it provides a method for drawing content, manipulating the cursor, and clearing the terminal screen. Then we have the terminal itself. I like it. Seems to have two default patterns, material and tailwind. Okay, I like material as well. So then we have the items themselves. The first part, rewrite everything in Rust. I can't hold my interface. That's cool. Okay, so then if you go back up, rewrite everything to do. I can't hold my interface. Okay, I like it. So this is just a basic list, and then changes the status of the selected item based on this. I wonder where it's handling the key presses and such. Go top. When's this actually referenced? Ah, okay. So these are specific key binds that are also put in here. G goes to top. Capital G goes to bottom. So when you're in here, G goes to top. Capital G goes to the bottom of the list. Man, I like how that's handled. Anyways, going back to where this is, I was just wondering where that was actually called. So then go bottom. That was the capital G. This is the lowercase g. And then these are the bindings. All right, now for the widgets itself and the rendering, creates a space for header, to-do list, and footer. This is just like basically like padding in CSS almost. All right, that's kind of cool. So when we're doing this in a full screen here, let's just quit out. Let's come over here now, and we're gonna go cargo run just to see it in full screen. And let's say we have a bunch of, what happens when you toss this into like a small screen? Surprisingly still viable even on like a really small terminal. I really like that layout. I know some people aren't going to, but I do. That is cool. All right. Ooh, we're actually making more progress than I thought we would. Even though all we've done is copy an example, it's still further than I thought we would get so far. All right, so what I want to do now is start to actually redesign it a little bit. I do like how the list is done. So first order, let's just rename, and then we're gonna change these from like checks and boxes to actual selection, or maybe even remove the checks and boxes from the to-do list. So first order is to-do list on the title. Let's just call this the Linux toolbox. And let's go to do info, which would be info down here. Let's just change this to information. And then let's remove the checkboxes. So you have completed in this. This is for rendering some of those. I don't think we need to do this or actually call this function anymore. Well, yeah, no, we do, because it still needs to change the info blocks when the selection changes. I'm curious, Phoenix, what font do you use? Because you say I waste a bunch on my kitty. I kind of like this, though. This is like my jam. I bet you're like a JetBrains mono type of guy. I called it. I knew it. I knew it. Yeah, see, I love Meslo. I've tried them all, and I love Meslo. If I'm on Windows, actually, I have to use, I think, either JetBrains or Cascadia Cove. Meslo LGS just doesn't render a lot of Windows icons properly for some odd reason. It's like a weird nuance to like the PowerShell stuff I deal with day in and day out. Okay, let's see. Focus. Here we go. Stateful list to do. So we understand that the status represents the status of the to-do item, to do or completed. So the status enumeration, where's that at? Status. Data structs. Let's go status. What other status do we have? Okay, so then we have this right here. For the line, match self status. Do we want to add, instead of doing obviously to do or completed here, we're going to probably wipe out the to do item. So let's start modifying that. Yeah, let's take a look. I'm going to grab that, Jocelyn. This is kind of really cool. I dig the idea of this right here. Having obviously a hard time wrapping my brain around it because I'm such a Neanderthal, but let's take a peek. Cross term. Okay, so you're using cross term. This is a simple pull. Ooh, okay. Let's try it. Let's go raw. Let's just grab this. And actually, you know what? We're just going to pull it directly in. Let's go source actually. All right, we're going to just grab this list. I think we can just, can't we just launch directly without using cargo? Like rust c list.rs. Oh no, you gotta define it with cargo, don't you? That's okay. I think we can just go cargo run and then just specify less list rs. Okay, no, you can't. All right, good to know. It uses key bindings. All right, cool. I'm good with that. No, we're not doing ZSH. I'm a bash guy. I'm a simple man. Bash is the way to go. I will die on that hill. Let's just remove main. And we're just going to call this main.rs. All right. Cargo run. Oh, why did it not? Oh, maybe it's still stuck in memory. My bad. I was like, interesting. No, it still didn't. Or is that your list? No, that's not your list, is it? No. We needed like a cargo clean command, right? Yeah, cargo clean, I bet you. So let's remove all that. Now let's do a cargo run. Nice. Okay. So then we got the very good. That's exactly what I need. Thank you. A very simple. Oh, you're the man. Twitch chat cheating me. Hey, we should rename the stream. Twitch chat teaches me how to code in Rust. I think that's probably what we really need to do with this. All right. So now we have a functional basic list. Thank you. Thanks to chat. Now we can actually document this code, get a little bit better understanding. I'm also a noob. Don't listen to me. Hey, you know more than me. We're wrecking Rust. We're gonna learn Rust. You know, I should do like a 24-hour stream just to see how much Rust I can absorb in 24 hours. That'd be hilarious. Make for a good video, I'll say that. Maybe. God, it would be hell to edit though. Ugh, it'd be awful. All right, let's break down each one. So we already understand, here's the cargo. This is what is done right up here. And honestly, if you don't want to specify exactly each one, I think you can just do it like a star here if you wanted. Oh, no, that's up here. Okay. I wonder why this is defined twice. So you call it once with prelude star and then widget star, and then it's called again, but this time you're specifying cross-term backend style list and terminal and paragraph. So I mean, technically, isn't that twice? So couldn't you just wipe this out and it would still run, right? Let's do a cargo clean, cargo run. Interesting. Okay. The strange thing here is, you notice how the colors changed? So we saw what it was before. Maybe that was just because I was launching it in VS Code. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I only wanted to clean it because I saw the double definitions up here, and I didn't know if there was a reason for that. So I removed one of the definitions and I just left the wildcard one. I was like, does it still compile, or was there a reason for that? And I guess the answer was no, there was no reason. So that's what we got there. So then we got enter an alternate screen, enable raw mode for terminal interaction, initialize the terminal with cross term back in. Very clear. Initialize the state for a list and define the list items. So we got item 1, item 2. So then we go my bash, neovim, and then finally we're going to do quit. Okay. Then we enter the main loop, draw each UI component on each iteration. That's great. Highlight style. I think we can actually do a background as well. So modifier reversed. If we wanted, we could fancy it up with like a BG. So style, you got foreground, background, underlying color. Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. Do like an underlying color. Maybe. It's an idea. Highlight symbol true. Okay. Render the list in paragraph widget. For this, we're doing cargo run, ready UI. So we can change that. Just call this the Linux toolbox. Handle input. Okay. Just J and K for now. And Q to quit, which honestly we could select the Q. So now what I want to do is associate the enter button for that. So let's come back into the example we downloaded. So when we look at enter, how is it associating that? All right. If you want to check. Okay, let's see. Okay, for the style itself, you can just change it directly, doing like a let style default. So you could change like the color to be foreground white, background. Let's try that real fast. Let's just do the simple things first. Now, are we specifying style? I believe we are. Where was that style? All right, highlight style right here. This is under list. And I want to say, where would we want to define this? Probably towards the beginning of the, just inline it without creating a new variable. Okay. So we got style, that, and then I think we could just go. So this should be like color. Oh, actually I probably can just do default, right? Style colon default. Ooh. So instead of BG, this would be default. Oh, okay. Just style new BG color. So instead of this, you can just go. Let's just remove this. I was just wondering, maybe you could do all of it in one go too. BG, and then let's go over one color. Let's make that color blue, something like that. So then instead of the reverse, but then probably need to make the foreground color as well. I don't think you can do like a FG color white. Does that work to string it all together? I guess one way to find out. Oh, no. Okay, you can add it. Oh, you can add it after. Okay. Just didn't quite grab it. Yeah, we can tell it to refactor it all. I want to get like a little bit of a bearing here, which I feel like we have a pretty good understanding of this. Now I want to kind of want to grab and add an event, but let me see. We didn't get the background color to actually stick here. Why didn't that background apply? So let's say we have that. Why didn't BG apply? Terminal emulator support color compatibility. I don't think any of that's right, because obviously it does support that because we've done it before. We can try it over here just to make sure though. Yeah, see? It's definitely not that. I didn't think it would be. Chatterino is amazing. I know, I love that tool. It's amazing. Oh, Path of Exile League? No, I haven't played Path of Exile in a good bit. Oh, let's see. Let's remove foreground color white. Just see what it does with just the blue. I think it added one too many there. All right. Cargo run. Still no BG. No love there. Ah, okay. Let's see. Creating a terminal UI in Rust. The main loop. how to draw UI. Oh, that's kind of cool. Widgets. There's quite a lot of widgets built. I'm gonna actually bookmark this in projects, as this actually looks like a pretty darn good library. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, ooh, where do I want to go from here? I think what we do, I really like where this is at right now. Let's just do a lazy G initial list. Kind of the whole point of pushing this out right now is to just kind of have it up there, because I'm about to destroy, well, change everything with old Chat GPT, and I want to be able to just drop whatever changes I make here and come right back to here. So I kind of want this part saved in history, because I love the simplicity of the code and kind of where it's at, other than background not working. But let's start refactoring some stuff and see what changes old Jippity likes to make. All right, Taken says set default foreground red, background color blue, add modifier bold. Oh, really? Okay. What does that do when we go on the highlight style? I think what we're gonna do, let's do a reverse of this. Go back. All right, there we go. All right, so now we have that. Let's go into and do like a style. Can we just do it like a style new, and then just, so style default, and then I think we can just do that, and then just choose background color, for the background we want blue, foreground color white, and then maybe dot add modifier bold. Bold? Bold. Does that work? Oh, modifier bold. I don't think it's actually getting used because we need to put that directly in the list. Okay, that makes sense to me. So then let's put it right here for our list object. Tab that over, and then I think we could do like a dot style, right? So actually dot style, or should we do, yeah, no, that should work, right? Oh boy, set on line 39. Oh, really? White on black. Oh. Ooh. Well, that's for the render widget frame, which I believe is just, oh no, that is. Okay. But the list is what we're trying to stylize right now. So, 1 second. Just replace dot white, dot black with style. Okay. I feel like this is close. Let's see if I can don't completely screw this up. Have y'all laugh at me. They're all gonna laugh at you. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, let's fix this. Obviously, we can't use, it should be just style default. What do y'all think of that? All right, somebody in chat said, hey, I don't understand what's happening. That makes two of us. All right, chats says this should work. Let's see. Hey, look at that. Look at chat's so damn smart. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh. Now, I'd like a gradient. Gradient? Is that possible? Let's see what it spits out and says for gradient. Before we get too crazy here, though, again, let's initial. Feel like my git ignore should probably include a bunch of like the Rust cargo garbage, right? I feel like there should be something so it's not doing that every time. Doesn't look. Let's see. You might consider alternate colors or particular patterning. Okay. The color gradients aren't directly supported through these libraries. Okay. Yes. Now we got to do one of the menu options, make them do something. So we've figured out how to kind of stylize the menu a little bit. Now let's try and make a menu option. Let's see what that looks like. We'll see what it ends up being. So far, I'm just kind of trying to figure out everything. So we're not going to just drop stuff directly in here. I'm going to try and pick out what I want to grab. So it looks like we're going to do an event poll. And when we do this, instead of, we're going to add a key code and enter, and we're going to handle the enter key. And for this, I think we can just do like my bash, right? It's kind of interesting to see how, I know there's a lot faster way to do this, but I kind of want to just take my time and do it line by line. Okay. And then neovim and then quit. What am I missing here? You need to get this selected from the state. Let's see, where is, so this is actually saying, you're saying don't put it here in the poll. It actually needs to come from the state with state selected. Okay. Okay. I see what you're doing with like K. Let selected, state selected. So key code enter. And how are we going to grab that? So, gotcha. Let's indent this. Bring that back. Okay. State selected. Now we match that items index. Now we should be okay. And let's make sure. I don't think we have missing release not covered. You can't do it like match state selected. Okay. I wonder why it doesn't like this all of a sudden. Did I screw up and, oh, I think I fat fingered and added some stuff I wasn't supposed to. Or, well, was that me or no? This is why. When did those get added? No, those are supposed to be there, huh? Oh, they are. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm sorry, guys. Well, you must be frustrated, but I'm having fun. All right. Ooh. Well, thanks, Jess. It does not feel like I'm doing all that well, but it's okay. Getting there, little bit by little bit, but it's a little frustrating on your first day, but that's okay. It's what it's all about. I do have a book coming in soon. I think I'm going to go through it a little bit more, and I do still love this one right here from rustlang.org. I need to finish going through all of this. And I'll probably take like a notepad and just kind of notate certain things that I think, oh, that's really interesting, like variables being immutable by default, and then slowly just kind of jot through. The big thing here is I'll probably have to read this like 5 to 10 times to really grasp a lot of the basic concepts of Rust. So right now we're just kind of hacking away at stuff. When the bots rise, Chris will be one of the first to go to the labor camps as revenge. Hey, I'd like to, you know, when people were like, I can't believe AI is coming for like musicians or artists or coders. I'm like, hey, that sounds amazing because I suck at all three of those things. Let's see. And then every time I try it, I'm kind of like, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. Like for the artists out there, when it comes to AI art, it might be okay for like a YouTube thumbnail, but oftentimes like draw my hand. Okay, artists, they have no problems drawing a hand. And yet, these machines that are going to come and steal everybody's job can't draw a hand to save its life. Music. The music, you know, the thing that came out about AI, you know, people are like, oh my gosh, it's going to remove musicians. And I'm like, yeah, like the music that sounds good doesn't really sound original though. It's like, oh, that sounds kind of like that song. And you can tell that the music doesn't have a soul. So it's like, yeah, it's made by AI and it's not bad. It's just not very good either. It's just more of the same. And it's good at producing it. I think I could eventually use AI to maybe make a music backing track that sounds okay, but it's not something I would listen to in the car. And then for like coding, I think it does a pretty good job of taking existing good code and documenting it. I think it does a great job of that, actually. It kind of gives me an idea of how to learn and how to use it to learn. But anytime I'm like, hey, make this for me, it does some really squirrely stuff, and it never typically, after, like, let's say, if it's line by line, maybe. But if it's like a whole function of like 5 or more lines of code, almost inevitably, 90+% of the time, I would say it spits out, hallucinates, does just wacky stuff, or just does it plain wrong. And that's where, like, I see, like, the state of things. So I don't want to say it's worthless, but I don't want to say, oh my God, it's amazing either. So a lot of times when I'm doing these streams, I like to just say, hey, okay, if it's stealing people's jobs, let's make it do a job. And then usually it's just me cursing at it for like 3 hours. I like it, but don't get me wrong, I love doing this and I love diving into these things. But to say that it will completely remove the human element, there's just something that goes into, whether it's code, whether it's all these creative endeavors, there's a soul or a presence behind it that you can just tell. Like, I think AI will eventually replace a lot of YouTubers that are not very good, but at the end of the day, there's not going to be like a personality or like a really good soul behind it. I think at the very least, you might see like it helping like the VTuber side of things and seeing more of the digital artworks and taking a human component and being able to elaborate on that a little bit more to like obfuscate someone's identity. I think that's a very good use case. But anyways, I'm sorry, going down a rabbit hole. Getting back to my code here. All Minecraft YouTubers gone. How's that different from today? I thought all Minecraft YouTubers pretty much gone. Oh man, the Christitis Tech YouTube VTuber. You know, there's enough video out there for me. I've done over 1,000 YouTube videos now. It's gonna happen. All right, Code Monkey. Let's focus. Let's focus. All right. First up, let's take a peek here. Now, if we look here, so it's able to grab the state selected, but the match items index, it's not able to grab. Wouldn't it be state select index? But you can't use a match there, huh? Match item selected. Okay. So instead of index, can you just do selected? No, that's not quite right. Oh, really? What does this line do exactly? What does this do? This is a catch-all pattern that does nothing for all other unhandled key codes. Oh, interesting. That's what that does. That it matches everything. Okay, cool. So then you're saying at the end here, we add the catch-all. So now we've done the catch-all at the end, but this cannot find selected in the scope. This actually probably should be index, right? Yeah. So now we have that, and now we need to handle my bash. But for this, how do I want to do it? I want to launch into a bash script now. But before we do that, let's just make sure this is working. Let's just do a simple like pop-up real fast. Ooh, what the hell did it do? Not found in the scope. Okay. All right, how about we just print a success command? Yeah, it hallucinated. I was like, let's just do a print ln. Let's just make sure that this works, and then we'll expand on it if it does. Should. So let's go cargo run. Okay, we're line 94. What did I do? Oh, my bad. Fat fingered something. So then we have this. Enter. Bash completed successfully. All right, cool. I like it. Here, I'm gonna add. We're gonna go VIP, just Linux user. You deserve the VIP tag, just because. Whoa, I like this. This was a really good base to start, kind of springboard off of for a main UI, just to kind of hack around and get something going. I like it. All right. Now, if we want to, let's take these key codes too. Let's just take this, or command, J or down arrow, and K or up arrow. Let's see what key code it's able to grab. Oh, okay, that looks good. So let's say we want to, for those non-Vim users, we'd want the Vim commands and then also the normie commands for the toolbox, right? So let's see if that simple edit took. So now we have Vim commands, and then normies. Normies work. Okay, good. So that's changed. Just keep making minor modifications as we grab and understand these or statements. VS Codium versus Cursor. I really like Cursor. It's been fun. Like having a lot of the ability to just go with like one line of code. As I've shown in like the past couple streams, having it write substantial amounts of code, not good, but having it document good code is kind of where it shines. That's where I kind of like, or if I'm just modifying one line of code and I don't want to type it all out, just say, hey, make this line of code. Most times it gets it right, but occasionally it does hallucinate. And then you're like, okay, well, just undo that. So I kind of like just doing that. So like, let's say we want to take this, and what I would do is make this launch a new terminal and clone the GitHub repo, github.com, Chris Titus Tech, my bash into home folder, build my bash. Let's see what that does. Interesting. Looks a little wacky. Let's see what do you guys think of that? Fork a new shell project. Oh, that's true. Or dispatch. Let's see. So let's go cargo run. My bash. All right, so it failed. Failed to launch terminal and execute git clone command. All right. Oh, did we crash it? We crashed it. All right, well, let's just kill that terminal. Remove line 68. arg -- sh command. Okay. And then gnome terminal. Well, that's a problem. Okay. Change this to be the XDG default terminal. Come on now. Gnome terminal. Oh my. All right. So now we have this to issue the command. Honestly, I think that argument was correct though. Let's see X terminal emulator. Let's see what that does. X terminal and emulator. What do we have? Do we have X terminal? Best way to figure out. Well, I could just put kitty here and this would work probably. But I'm trying to think of the best way to issue or grab the XDG default. Yeah, let's just say, let's just highlight this. And what I want to know, what is the best way to launch the default terminal application for any version of Linux? Yeah, doing absolute path parry is a good one as well. So it says that you could do that for Debian-based systems. So technically this probably would work on like Ubuntu or Debian-based systems. A more pragmatic approach is to use external emulators to provide a fallback mechanism for systems that it is not configured. Here is how you can modify your Rust code to attempt this fallback. Ah, okay. Ugh, GNOME terminal though. Okay, so you got terminal, GNOME terminal, console, XFCE4, and Xterm. So it'll go bam right through all the terminals. That's kind of neat. And then for the usage example is that. Ah, I kind of dig that. Okay, great. Well, let's does the main function, I probably need to put this before the main function. So you'd have your terminal command up here. Then we also need to make sure we have this process issued. And then I want to actually put kitty in front of this. I know. People are going to be like, what about alacrity? Here. Just for you guys, alacrity. I know, it's all the way at the end. 1 second. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Just for you guys. You dirty alacrity users. I shouldn't say dirty. I should say elite alacrity users. All right. There we go. That looks a little better to me. Perfect. Skip launching terminal emulator. Just launch sh instead directly. Oh, really? You can just launch it? That seems a little easier. A little disappointed with that solution. All right. Does that work? Oh, jeez. Dang it. I was getting all excited. Like I was actually doing something. Here you guys go. Just Come on in. Just destroy and rain on my parade. All right. How's that look? Seems a little basic. Oh, wait. Why is that arg.sh? That's not right. Okay. There we go. There we go. So sh-c my bash, clone it to here, and then spawn. Let's see what we get. Let's go zrust, cargo run, bash. I mean, it kind of works. I don't like it. It works, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. Okay, here we go. Let's, I just kind of want to change a few things here. So we have my bash here that's just recently been cloned. Yeah, we could redirect the output, probably. You can encapsulate the shell command in its own widget. Oh, yeah, that's the way to do it. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, redirect the output to be another widget, like on the right side would be perfect. Yes, and we actually looked at that earlier. So when we're doing this, we need to redirect this to another widget. Well, let's see what old Jippity comes up with here. All right. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to just do a listing on the side because I'm not going to actually accept what it gives me. It's going to hallucinate and give me all kinds of shenanigans. But I want to see. It might get some of the shell out. All right. Take it easy, Just. Thanks for helping out. It was great. Just an ideas guy. That's okay. We got Jippity here. It's never steered us wrong. All right, here we go. Redirect shell output to a new widget. So sadly, this function, great idea, but we're not going to need it. We will need the IO read write. Actually, I think we already got some of that std out result, but I feel like we could just modify that a little bit though. Can't we just take this and do like comma read write? I feel like that's okay. No reason to bloat up our code here. And then function to execute a command and capture the script. Okay. I kind of want to change exactly how that's working. Feel like that could be rewritten a little better. So we have our main loop, we have this, but we also need to specify, yeah, they won't get this right. I can already tell you it's not going to work. You're absolutely right, Redbeard. 100%. This is already bad because you got to set up the widget first, right? And that is what, oh, we have it here. We already had it. Not there, not there. Here is the document we need. Creating terminal UI with Rust. How to draw the UI. This is where we need to change the blocks around. So right now we only have one block, an upper block. We need to create this, the lower block, and kind of specify like output for this. Let's see what we have here. Where is block? So the block and terminal draw is happening here on the list. Where else? Is that the only block that's getting drawn? So I feel like we could add another block right down here. Frame render widget. No, that's wrong. That's Copilot, by the way. Let's just grab this real fast. And if we look to specify which block goes to what is probably the next thing that I need to get. Okay, here you go. F render widget block chunk 0 and then lower block chunk 1. That's cool. I like it. So we have this one and then we'll render it down here as well. So to look at our code, so you render it, but first we got to declare it up here. As stated, we draw the UI function, define the simple blocks. We define it right here. Let's change this. So we have our list. But next, I want to do, I don't want to call this lower block. I want to call it command block. Command block. Okay. And then I'm going to call this one terminal. And that's not going to be quite right. Failed to resolve undeclared use of title type. Oh, so close. Use crate block title. Yeah, I agree. We probably should make this a little more modular. Honestly, making it modular is really important, especially if you're relying on some jibbity help like we are. I don't know how much help it is, but the more modular something is, one, the easier it is to maintain, but two, the easier it is to call for help or feed that out to another assistance like GPT. Yeah, Perry, we actually did that in C Sharp. Believe it or not, I hacked away at C Sharp for a little bit. You wouldn't know it from this stream, but we got that going. We actually modified what I wanted to do was make a one-shot program. We need to rerun that eventually. I'll get back to it. I kind of wanted to do a Linux toolbox and learn Rust just for fun, but that one was fun. We ended up grabbing the tweaks.json file directly from the official toolbox that is all PowerShell based. And the idea was to rewrite it with using .NET libraries and C Sharp. But I didn't want to rewrite all my tweaks because that took years to get all those tweaks exactly how they should be and other people reviewing them. So I don't want to reinvent the wheel here on the tweak side of things. I just want the tweaks applied differently. I want them to be applied through C Sharp and a .NET library instead of PowerShell commands, because whenever I have an executable to, people that support the Windows toolbox, they pay for an executable. Well, that executable wraps the PowerShell and then runs it. It's easier to launch, but at the same time, it has its own subset of problems like viruses. Virus scanners hate it. It's like, hey, you're trying to do an elevated prompt with system modifications. That sounds like a virus. So almost every virus scanner out there flags it, and I hate that. And then the second thing is a lot of the elevation that happens. It requires too much elevation, and we can fix a lot of that. So what we did was actually write specific functions for task schedulers, specific functions to interface directly with the registry and do all those tweaks. And we actually got it all done, so it ingests the already open source JSON tweaks directly from the GitHub, grabs it, runs all the tweaks, but instead of running them in PowerShell, it converts every tweak from the JSON to use the .NET. It actually worked. We actually got that done in I think a week or two. It wasn't bad at all. It's kind of that's just wild to me that that's even possible. The fact that we actually did it with my limited knowledge. I think I credit Twitch chat for that, getting that done, because I think we had a professional C Sharp programmer in, because we were getting problems during the ingestion. There were some special characters that were tripping us up. So I think there was a good 3 or 4 hours we got stuck on these weird special characters that we needed to escape out when we were ingesting the JSON file. But we got it all done. At the end of the day, Win One Shot I think still works. We'll eventually get back to it. Maybe next stream we try Win One Shot, bounce back and forth between Rust and C Sharp. I know that'll make people's heads spin, mine included. But it was I need it. It was fun. It was fun. I love that. Now we will be in Windows for C Sharp and .NET, and for just applying it. It's one of those things. Are you going to stream tomorrow? I'm going to try to. I think I can probably. I've been saying I'm going to get 3 days a week on my streaming, and I will. So yeah, I'm going to stream tomorrow. Let's get it done. All right. Let's get back to this. All right, so we got our command block that we're trying to do. We're specifying it here, block default. Now, this is not going to work. Why is that? Because it has not been declared or imported in the file. The title method block. So instead of .title from terminal, this is saying just terminal, huh? I don't think that'll work, will it? Oh, all right. So then we have this, but it's not used. So now we got to inject this as a subset of this guy. So we've defined it up here. Now under here, when we're drawing it, rendering widget. That's where we put it. Chunks 1. don't know how well this translates. I guess we'll figure it out. I mean, technically, we could probably make this thing install Arch once we're done with it. That's some lofty goals there. That'd be fun, though. A Rust-based install of Arch Linux. All right, so here's the rendering of the widget. Now we come below that widget. We have the style format area there. So the next one, looking at here, there's no chunks though. I feel like there should be like a chunks 0 or something. Let chunks, layout, default, direction, vertically, constraints. I feel, is there anything else with this? Let me look. Okay. So let's define the chunks up here, and we're going to add a parameter for these render of the widgets. Will that work? I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. So we got that, but instead of that, that should be area, right? Split area. So you have the area, which is the frame size. You have the chunks, which is the layout, and then the direction and the constraints right there. That makes sense. So then down here, when we're doing the list, this is the definition. Then in the render of it, we should be able to go chunks 1, right? Something like that. Chunks 0, actually. 0. But it doesn't like that. It doesn't like that because... Why doesn't it like it? Replace area with chunk 0. Oh, yeah. Yes. There we go. So now we have that render of the main project done. Now we can take our command block and toss it in here. So then we just come down, frame render widget, paragraph new, chunks 1, and this one's going to be command block. Well, actually, we'll just call this terminal, actually. People are going to be like, command block. Ooh, Titus got the big head all of a sudden. All right. Style, color, background color, black. Foreground color, white. I almost want to put gray. Wrong position. Do I have a wrong position? Yeah, DWM is just sudo make. Well, you don't have to sudo make. Usually you just do sudo make clean install, and then it does the make and the install at the same time. So I really love DWM. Like, ooh, I don't know if I can ever go to anything else. Eventually, I'm gonna have to go to like DWL, because eventually Wayland will take over if I don't die before that happens. I plan on living to be 90. The statement still stands. So, yeah. I'm not going to turn this into a Wayland bashing stream like I do every other stream. We're going to leave that. Okay. What problems do we have here? We have unused imports, really? Unused imports, STDIO, and command. Okay, well, they're not used. What was I pulling those in again for? We're not using them. Might as well get rid of them. All right, unused variable command block. Is it, though? Command block right here, title term. Oh, yeah. That should be... Oh, how do we specify the widget now? Okay, it's not actually pulling in command block here. Replace paragraph new with the... Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I see what you're getting at. It's not quite right, but it's... I see it. I don't know I need to even specify this command up here. I think the command block in this instance, but how are we going to reference it? And delete the braces. Yeah, that makes more sense. We're specifying. That's cool. That's neat. All right, nice. Let's set this style up, right? What if, let's just go here. Default black, white. So then we'd have the command block specified there. I mean, technically this is it was, I could have done everything here without defining the command block up there. I just kind of wanted to do it because that's how we did the first part. I think that's kind of cool. So let's run this, as I don't see any more issues popping up. Let's clean it. It's been a while since I did it clean. I don't know what cargo clean does, but it's okay. I guess we'll recompile it. We changed enough. I'm like, I think it might be good. So then we have, very cool. So then we need to output bash to there. Okay. Oh, cool. All right. So that block widget needs to come down a little bit though. I feel like maybe like a 30, 70 split. So if we look here, so now we have the area, the chunks. Now we can do the constraints on the chunks. And what we're going to do is bring this in. We'll do a 30, 70 split. So coming up to chunks where it's stuffing. Right now we have length 3, min output here. I almost want to do length 4 and just put the amount of the items. And now this should push it down so we have the 3 instead of doing a percentage split. Let's see what that does. That kind of... Okay, I like it. All right. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so the area size, frame size, I don't think we have to specify anything there. Doing the constraints in the chunk section is how we are splitting it up. You can do percentage-based stuff, but I honestly like just specifying the lines I need, because then if you're taking the run of it right here, and we launch another terminal, and then another terminal, and then I'm like, hey, I need to push this down here. Let's just grab this, toss it over here. It'll go ahead and resize to wherever it is, no matter what you're doing. And you're not worried about like a percentage thing screwing things up. That's cool. All right, neat. So now we just got to output our terminal or redirect the output to that widget, that render widget, the command block. So this right here, we need to redirect the output. Actually, let's just highlight all that. All the output should be rendered in the command block. Yeah, that would actually be better, dude. If we did that, I think that would be the best way. Actually, just read how long. Just do probably like a size of the list array, and then just say, hey, putting it as a variable would be better. Yeah, that's true. So instead of me just saying, hey, there's 3 options, so add 1 to it, we could just do the size of the array and just say, hey, however many items are in this, or I don't know if you call this array, list, whatever. This list, we'll call it a list. I'm probably using the wrong terminology, but pay no attention. Just do a size here and then specify that as the length here and then drop it in. In Rust, to get the size, it's just an item's length. Really? That's it? So you just do items length as U16. Okay. Something like that. I think we need to do a +1. So could you just do like +1? Yeah. I think that's pretty solid. What about the U16? Okay, it's just 16-bit unsigned integer type. Cool. So you have items len and then item size. So what's the difference between length and size? So you don't need the as, okay. Oh, it doesn't exist. Okay. Yeah. Look at that. Twitch chat's pulling a GPT and hallucinating on me. Oh no, I can imagine Christina saying, just rewrite it in Rust, dude. Maybe come back in 2 years. That might happen. That's totally gonna be me. Be drinking my tea. Just be like, make little teacups and be like, I write in Rust. Oh, okay. Okay. So the +1 is taking little. Oh, gotcha. Okay, let's not do that. But I don't think it's as, right? Isn't it just like +1 U16? Do you need the as? No. What did you mean by +1? Try adding a space. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. This makes the most sense to me logically, but it does not like that. Oh, chat, steering me wrong. So yeah, this is the order of operations that needs to happen. Is it plus? I'm gonna go +2, so we get a little buffer. Oh yeah. You could do it in parentheses, or just like this. I'm good with that. The operational precedence issue, you should put parentheses around the +1 to fix that. Yeah, that's true. IX. But if you don't want to do parentheses, which sometimes like when it's already got this many parentheses in here, I'd prefer to kind of stay away from that because the parentheses makes it kind of hard to read. So if this is actually functional, I'd be okay with this. So let's just compile it just to see. Go cargo run. Yeah, perfect. And then if we wanted to go one less than that, we'd just do it. See, I like this. I know it looks a little funky and it's just like a Rust thing, I think. Like I can't think of another programming language where I'd do it like this. But to me, it just looks more readable. Both are fine. It's not wrong. Yeah, perfect. All right, let's redirect this thing. Yeah, it's Rust. It's just a Rust thing. It's like understanding mutable, unmutable, those types of things. And then I'm starting to get a little bit better grasp. This almost kind of reminds me of how this is laid out when you're defining these variables. It almost kind of reminds me of CSS a little bit. It's a little wonky, but I like it. It's hard to explain. Anyways, this code is so ugly. I don't see how it could be better because of Rust. It's in the name, Perry. It's Rust. It immediately makes it better. All right, go to sleep. Oh, will this project be open source? Yeah, it's already open source. It's already on GitHub. Take it, steal it, do whatever you want with it. It's probably complete trash. This is like the first Rust program I've ever made. Well, actually, I think it's the second. I think at one point in time I was messing around on a stream and we just kind of wanted to toss together like a, oh God, I wrote a Rust program to pop up a help window and it just spit out a bunch of help commands, basically like a cheat sheet of, hey, F1 and mod key +1 switches to here. It's for my window manager at the time. And I think I made Rust for that because it was just very, very simple. But yeah, so like if you see something today, you're like, oh man, I like that. What was that Titus guy looking at with that? Let's go to, what did I call this? Linutil. Yeah, just come here and go into Rust and you can see everything we've done. I'll go ahead and update it real fast. Let's just go lazy G. We're pretty much to the spot where I'm like, okay, everything's working pretty well. Lazy G, perfect menu is what we're going to call this commit. So now if you want to grab anything you've seen, just refresh it and go into source. You can see the entire perfect menu. Anything we've done today, it's all just right here. And if you want to, like, let's say I screw this up, the reason why I like doing everything in Git is because I could just go, oh, you know what? Let's go back an hour. I really messed up. And I can just revert the entire branch to an hour ago, and then I'm back to where I was. Because inevitably, I'm going to screw this up. And technically, I'm not 100% sold this is going to be the final thing. When it comes to programming, how I usually work is I'll start hacking at stuff and get stuff working. And then I look at it and I'm like, that's awful after I've learned more. And then I remove and delete all of it. And then I rewrite it. And then it's like a rinse and repeat of that about 50 more times. And that's usually how I code. I know it drives some people crazy, but like, hey, read the documentation, do like a hello world, do like a simple program starting out. I get it. And I know that was probably for time and brevity, it would probably work for better than most. But taking something like this, where you kind of understand a little bit of it and don't understand a lot of it, and then just kind of hacking away at it to get it to work, I'm able to pick little things up. I still don't understand 100% of it, But that's where I learn, and that's just kind of my method. And at the end of it, this code's going to be hot garbage. But this is that's my method behind why I do what I do. Why it probably drives people crazy, and I totally get it. But that's the reason why I do it this way. It's embarrassing, but you got to do what works for you, you know? And you got to enjoy it. I enjoy doing this. If I was just reading and doing like hello world and simple code, I would just get so bored to tears that I would just immediately quit. So that's why I do what I do. Go does have some great TUI libraries. Yeah. But I think it was Bubble Tea we looked at earlier, Redbeard, that was just amazing. It looked beautiful. And I get that. I bet GPT is better in Go than Rust as well. Probably. Yeah, I like both. I'll probably give Go a shot here in a bit. But right now I'm like, I at least want to learn the basics of Rust. Just to get a bearing, so when I stare at some Rust code, I'm not completely lost. I'm just kind of lost. What files did I miss? Did I miss a file? Add Rust to... Oh, okay. Git ignore. Thanks, Duo. So let's go git ignore. Let's go. We have target, but we need Rust target. Yeah. Thank you. Let's do that. I think you can just click that and say add to ignore. Oh, that's not an option, huh? Well, they should make that an option. Anyhow. Yeah, let's do that. Let's come back a directory and let's go lazy G, fix ignore, git ignore. So we'll have that. And then let's come into our lin util again. And what we're going to do in the Rust, we have this target directory. Let's just go into target and say delete directory. Perfect. Commit. Perfect. All right, so now we got rid of the target directory. Thank you for pointing that out. And we have a proper done here. Nice. My plans for this loop, TJ, is to just kind of break and to just do little things starting off. Like right now, we're just doing like a clone of my bash and getting my bash to... So when we do a cargo run, do a cargo run. So when we have this and we're going through, I'm going to get to the point where I'm like, just click, bam, it clones my bash from GitHub, drops it directly into the build my bash directory, and then runs the setup script. Cool, right? Pretty simple. I mean, that's an easy thing to program in pretty much any language. So then you get that. And that's the first thing. And then NeoVim, same thing. So then you have two programs kind of going that will automatically install and configure. So then we're like, okay, we got that going. Now we can start heading into a little bit more complex territory and doing probably like a setup of DWM on RHEL-based systems, Debian-based systems, and Arch-based systems. So what that would entail is you launch this same thing from wherever it is, and then it detects, hey, what window manager are you using? Or what display manager are you using? Okay, you're an SDDM, GDM, LightDM, whatever it is. Detects it, makes all the modifications for you, adds DWM into your system. So then you'd have my DWM project at a click of a button. But if you didn't like my DWM, or you're like, okay, that's just wild, I don't know how Titus does that silly tile manager thing, and you could easily just flip back to like KDE or GNOME because it's just adding that option. And it's just like think of it like that, just an easy way to get to all my projects in Linux. And then we could take it a step further from that. There's a lot of ways to branch out and just make a lot of quality of life things, such as setting all like XDG variables and saying, here's your default terminal and all these things that you need to do on every Linux install, but many Linux users forget to, and then they load up Flatpaks and go, oh crap, everything's in light mode. Why is that? Well, you didn't specify your XDG and it's not properly mapped to your .config GTK and those types of things. And we could just make little fixes and be like, here's a fix directory or fix tab. And then fix the locale. Let's say your locale's all jacked up and you're like, everything's in like English UTF-8 and I'm not in that. I'm like from Spain, totally. Then you kind of change that. So there's a lot of little things in Linux I can think of that bothers users, and you could just make a toolbox to do that. And then I can learn Rust along the way. I think that's just a side benefit. So that's the idea behind this whole toolbox. And it's just chipping away at it and just keep going, learning about every day. So I'll try to go to sleep and learn, or at least read a couple chapters in the Rust. And then it'll be kind of like a loop on the official documentation of Rust, where you'll you can't just read it once and get it. It just, unless you're like a genius, which I am not. I'll have to read it a bunch of times and then probably finally get it. And then, yeah, you just kind of click. But it's a great project to kind of springboard off of. Hopefully it becomes useful. Right now it is definitely not. Right now it's just a hot mess, and probably will be for, I'd say 3 to 6 months. We'll just kind of hash away at it. Probably like once a week we'll do one of these big Rust streams. I'll try to add, I need to add more than that though, maybe twice a week, and see. Maybe I'll cut back my YouTube videos to once a week and then just do another stream instead. And that way I can get a little bit more practice, because the more you practice something, the better you're going to get at it. You know, no matter what it is, programming, health, working out, all those things. The more you do it, the better you get. Yeah. So that's the thought process here, guys. It's fun. It's fun. I think we got a lot done for this. The fact that you got a pretty good sizable thing. I started understanding a lot more with just definitions, frame renders using the Ratatui UI. Probably the big thing, I'm going to actually link it in chat. So anybody on YouTube or Twitch, this was a very useful for actually breaking out the examples, because the actual official documentation is kind of confusing, where this just made it so much easier to understand and kind of broke it all out. So you're like, oh, I get it now. And yeah, this dev.to praxtube, whoever this guy is, very, very good explainer. If I can understand it, you can understand it. So he did a great job, I thought. So there we go. Day number 1. Please, it's Ratatouille. Oh, Ratatouille. The Pixar movie. Ratatouille. Oh, I get it now. Thanks for correcting me. I would have called it that for the next month. You should have just not told me. Honestly, you should have trolled me and just said, hey, it's pronounced and just say it a completely wrong way. You could have totally done it. I would have eaten it up. It would have been great. Anyways, next time. I shouldn't give you guys ideas like that. F-stab, yeah. Gnome and F-stab. I like to dry up. All the Linux users I've gotten mad over the years. Yeah, you know, English is only my first language, and my second, and my only. But you know, sounds better if I just say it's the first language. All right, y'all. Let's shut her down for today. This was a blast. That was a lot to learn. I do have a Rust book coming in, which I probably will mark up a little bit, just grab some syntax from it, learn a little bit more. And, you know, again, it's just chipping away. For day number 1, just about 2-3 hours in, I couldn't be happier with this. It was fun kind of starting with the whole GPT and just tossing everything up and then going, okay, this obviously GPT can't take it from scratch. We've already established that on prior stream. And then kind of taking it, some of the examples and going, oh, that's really cool. Like the To-Do project from the Ratatouille UI. That was pretty cool. I loved the little To-Do with like the checkbox and the check marks. But then when we had Just Linux come in and give us a really more basic version that I could ingest a lot better and use as a menu, that was when we really started kind of cranking and learning more stuff, because it was just enough. It was just simple enough that I could absorb it. Where the example that was given by the official documentation was just a little bit too much for me. So, all right, guys, have a great one. See you all tomorrow. We're going to stream on Friday. No, it's not useless. It's not like me to stream on a Friday, but I'm going to just wake up. It's going to be an earlier stream, but it's going to be fun nonetheless. Love you all. Peace.